Hey everyone, welcome back to Investing for the Future. I'm here with the Crypto King,
What's going on, yo?
Kyrie. This is a guy that I've known almost my entire life, probably more than half of my life. He is a savvy entrepreneur who has always been in the commission space, about to travel to different states. He's been to probably more states than I have.
Definitely.
And he's been going back and forth to, is it South Carolina or North
South Carolina, yeah.
South Carolina, about to go to Cleveland. We're currently in Columbus, Ohio, but we're both originally from New York. So we understand what it is to do that hustle and bustle, to constantly be on the move, constantly be on the grind, always learning as young as we are, but also looking for that six-figure goal every single year, month, or even day. Kyrie was the first guy to say 100K, 100K. He had the t-shirts, he had the brand, he had the clothing line. Me, personally, I was okay making about $96,000 a year. I didn't know why I liked that number. I didn't know what that number would mean to my life. I just knew that I would be okay with that. But Kyrie's drive just to say, you know what, I can do better, I can do more, I'm going to get 100K a year, I'm going to do this, is very inspiring. He's brought along so many people on his journey. He now has a team of people that he manages himself. I'm just so proud to welcome my good friend, the Crypto King.
What's going on? Nice to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for showing up, and we're about to have a good old time. So let's get straight into it. What drove you towards the commission space? I mean, let's talk about your first job and then what drove you into a more commission-based field.
Okay. Well, first things first, I was working, a typical 9 to 5. I can't even say it was a 9 to 5 because I was working 40 plus hours a week. I worked at Best Buy. It was a great job. I was only 18. I had just started a company with my uncle. So I was just, an employee over there, the family run business. So getting some my business acumen up. And then, I just had a regular job. To me, that was just my early stages in entrepreneurship. But it wasn't after my second year working at Best Buy. I had made over $2.7 million. And I'll never forget this because when I looked at that yearly raise that a lot of people are always waiting for and looking for, they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make $1, $2. And they're so happy about that. And your paycheck only goes up $200-$300 for the year. That's crazy. And especially I was actually a part-time employee, so they can only guarantee me 30 hours plus, and they couldn't really give me that 40 hours. But when they gave me a 46-cent raise, let me tell you, that grew that fire underneath me. I was like, damn, I'm working all these hours. I can't do the things that I want to. I don't have that freedom. My hours are set. That's it. That was kind of it for me. And then, moving forward, I was looking for bigger and better. I had just got my apartment. I was living there for a year at a time already. So at that point, it's all right, I live in Manhattan. My bills are pretty high. I'm a college student. I'm $800 biweekly is not going to cut it. $1,600 a month is just not for me, especially the things that I want to do. At the time I was a little materialistic. I want to wear the nice clothes and things like that. I want to play video games all day.
At the time?
Yeah. But look, I kind of got into that idea, if there's money out there, I need to get it. Why are you paying me this? 46 cents is nothing. What can I do with that? That's not even 1% of the money that I generated for the company. So that was just really a slap in the face. So, when I first started selling cars, at this point, this is the first time where there wasn't any hourly pay. They just said, can you sell this car? And it was just I think so, hope so. And it was that first check, bro. I kid you not. That first check, I was looking at $2,000 and I'm like, damn, this is all I would have made in a whole month and a half. I could do this in 1 week. So obviously I'm a rookie in the game. So, I didn't understand that not every week's gonna be as powerful as that. Like I got lucky. A person was ready to buy, and I had the solution here. Let's get this is the car for you. This is what you want. All right, cool. I didn't sell him that car. Realistically, people when they like, oh, do you sell cars? Like, no, the car sells itself. I'm just talking to the person for real. And I learned that later on in my entrepreneur lifestyle. But of course, there's a good and a bad. So you're gonna come across those good days and those good weeks where you see a big check. But what people don't understand in entrepreneurship, it's not just a linear path. So when you come in, you're gonna have those rough days. You might even have a rough month. Like my roughest month, I made probably like $800 for the month. And generally, when people see that, they're like, "Damn! Like I need to find a new job. I can't make this kind of money. I'm not gonna be there." I've gotten an eviction letter. I've seen it. I know what it feels like to have to really like find something else to do, add more, supplement my income. So that's kind of like getting into that field. I wasn't ready for that. So, it made me work harder. It actually was like, look, it's possible that I could make this much and I can do it in a week, but what am I going to do after that? So, it helped me like, I kind of got, and early in your entrepreneurship levels, like if you don't have a lot of like the other like qualities, like, having discipline, and that's a big one right there. Discipline is the most important thing because, like you need
Discipline in what aspect?
So like if I make $5,000 today or in a week, like I need to know, okay, I have my bills to pay that need to be paid. That needs to be paid for first. Not, oh, I got $5,000. I can go do the things that I always want to do. The job's not done yet.
Right.
And, in that early stage, like I was doing that. As soon as I get it, it's spent. So, I always tell people like, you got to be disciplined. You got to have consistency. I had the consistency. I just didn't have the discipline. So I was able to consistently do it over and over again. And then me not having the discipline when my time at that job came to an end, and this was Alfa Romeo out there. I was selling the cars. They were pretty nice, fancy cars. So when my employment actually came to an end, it was just like, oh, damn, like I don't have that anymore. I made all this money and I don't have anything to show for it. So, that really bothered me. And it bothers a lot of people when they come into the game of entrepreneurship. So, I always tell people, have consistency, have discipline, and just have a good attitude about it. The good attitude is going to carry you a long way. You'll be able to do it forever. As long as you could keep a good attitude, like there's nothing that can stop you in entrepreneurship.
Right.
Some people like what really hurts them is that they're not able to have a good attitude through the tough times. Like that's what messed me up. You know what I mean? So.
And I don't want to conflate the commission side with being entrepreneurship, because I know those people in the comments, they're going to come after me. They're not going to come after you. So what Kyrie has also done is, when we first met, we met in high school, but what he was talking about, his college experience, having to pay rent, having to go to school. Also, he was on the football team alongside me, and then you have the fact that he was juggling that Best Buy job, but he had also had that 100K brand. So his entrepreneur side was selling clothes, all that stuff. I actually just packed up the first shirt that he ever gave me is in a box right now that I just packed up because it's been about 6, 7, maybe 8 years now. So I need a new shirt, but
I got you.
He was doing all the designs. He was doing things for businesses and that side. So we get the sense that he's moved away from a 9 to 5. You clock in, you clock out, you get paid a set amount of money. No, he wants a check that is more than someone's 2 weeks, more than someone's monthly, but he has to go out there and sell. In the commission sector, I've always heard the same line, which is you eat what you kill. I absolutely hate that line, but he might love it. And you out there who is listening to this, obviously this is for you. You might be wanting to get into commissions. You might be wanting to get into sales. You might be wanting to go into that path. Everybody's not the same. And so this is why we have to have such diverse talent here on this podcast to showcase what it is to be on that other side, to showcase what it means to really go out there and eat what you kill. From not only doing car sales, but also On top of that, because he made 2,000 doesn't mean that he's not going to sell shirts. It doesn't mean that he's not going to look for more business. Doesn't mean that he's just going to be Kyrie. He wants to be the crypto king, and he is the crypto king, right? So we're going to talk about that. How did you get started in the clothing business?
So that was pretty simple, honestly. My uncle, Uncle Manny, shout out to you, Emmanuel Myers. Like that's my role model right now. Like he's always been there. He's always showed me the ropes. So from the time that I met him, and I was just like, cause he's young, so he's only 8 years older than me, so we get to hang out. You know what I mean? So when we go out, that's not uncle, that's cuzzo. So I'm little cuz. So he came up with the idea. It was all his idea. He was like, hey, look, I'm thinking about coming out with a hat company. At first, the name was it was called Francisco Kings. I didn't know anything about that stuff. I was just like, okay, you running a business? Let me help. Like that was my mindset for it. Like, I just wanted to help. I didn't care about making money. I just wanted to help and do something. Like I was just tired of just the 9-to-5 lifestyle. Like business, he was bringing it to me. He taught me everything. But my idea was actually bringing in the clothing. Like I actually remember I got a video. I ordered some T-shirts off of some rinky-dink website, and they were awful. Like the quality was trash, but it was a start. You know what I mean? So, and that gave me hope. Like I was like, okay, we got T-shirts, and that ended up becoming like our best sellers: shirts, hats, hoodies. That avenue was literally like everything for us. We were getting most of our sales from that. And it just let us go from one aspect of business to another because we were outsourcing everything. Like we didn't own any of the machines. We didn't have anything that we could do ourselves. It was straight up, all right, do we have the money for this? How much does it cost for us to give it to these guys? All right, this is it. We're going to make this much money off of this order. And that's how it was. That's how we had to constantly repeat the steps and just keep doing the same thing over and over until we actually had the money to say, okay, let's cut out the middleman. So that's when we started ordering. We got our first machine. We got the heat press. We got the embroidery machine. Like that's when things really started to change for a better. By that point, I was already out of the 9-to-5 lifestyle. I was already in commission. I was selling cars now. So now I'm able to provide not only the money that I'm making from here, but I was able to reinvest it into him because he was able to go ahead and get a separate load of machines, which allowed me to bring it over into New York because he was based out in Jersey. So now I have my own market. I have my own friends that I could talk to. I mean, I helped you out with yours at first. You're actually my first customer. Oh, nice. And then, what I mean? So like, I appreciate you for that because it gave me hope. It literally gave me hope. Like I can literally just talk to anybody and say, hey, look, I got shirts. What do you want? You want a birthday party done? I got you. Like just like a catering business, but like whatever you need, I got it. Just tell me how to do it, what you want done, and we're going to get it done. And that helped. But it wasn't really until 2017. I know you're probably going to ask me about the cryptocurrency thing. So, 2017 was a sad year for me, that I had to deal with. And I was still in entrepreneurship, still selling cars. Like, I was like, hey, man. Actually, no, that was earlier in 2017. I was playing rugby. Came back home. My grandmother passed. And that was rough, you know what I mean? I stopped doing like the clothing for a little bit, just taking a breather off that, and I started focusing on myself. And it's really just getting into like investing and stuff. And I came across like this one video on YouTube, and they were mentioning something about cryptography. So it's 4 a.m. in the morning. I don't got nothing to do. I don't have work that next day. So I'm just surfing the net. I came across Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. I'm like, oh, what's this? Look into this. So I'm looking through it. I'm like, okay, there's money here. Why isn't anybody talking about this? I see the machines, the ATMs that they got at the stores. Like, why nobody talking about this? This is actually solving problems. Why don't we have this? Why is this something that we're not using? So, mind you, this is very early in the game. So I looked into it, spent a couple $100 and eventually became a few thousand. And I got to watch the money explode. I've never seen money move this fast in my life. I mean, I'm used to seeing at most a $2,000 check, but that's it. You know what I mean? I'm not used to seeing me turn a $100 investment into $1,000. And this is me not doing anything. All I did was buy it and then hope for the best. By the way, this is not financial advice. Please don't just buy Bitcoin or think that it's going to be like, you're gonna make $1 million. That's not the case. It'll never be the case. Don't get your hopes up. I'm sorry.
Yes, this is not financial advice. This is all for educational purposes only.
And entertainment. But
And entertainment.
like I'm saying, like people think they could come into the crypto market and just like have fun and like they'll be a millionaire. Like, yeah, have fun. I know you guys did great with Dogecoin, but that party is done. Okay, have a good day. But just getting into it, like I just started researching every different coin. Like I was sitting there trying to buy everything. The market's too big for that. So getting into that just gave me a sense of like urgency. Like nobody knows about this. Let me get ahead of the curve. Like it's just like me finding a newspaper before that came out. Like, oh wow, I could put all this here and do this. So as you guys see now, Bitcoin and all the different currencies are out there. Like they're out there now, and this is where I bring in that discipline, that consistency. Had I made all that money, I'm not gonna disclose how much I made in that time period, but had I been disciplined enough to say, hey, look, let me take this money and invest it elsewhere. Let me actually take the profit. It's not real until it's actually in your pockets. It's in your hands. It's not tangible. Like, we sitting there with a lot of people. We look at stock markets. We look at call options. The money like, oh, we up. And you don't sell. You don't make your money. You don't make it real. Then it's never going to be real. You're just going to be in the same position. So, I didn't have that. And to the slightest degree, I still don't have that. I'm still working on that. But the best part about that is just like I learned my lesson twice.
What do you think about NFTs?
So I have a love-hate relationship with NFTs. One is because I barely understand certain aspects of it. For artists, for people who are like coming out with music, coming out with like just overall any type of digital art, it's like your virtual property. You own it. It's yours. No one can recreate it. Yeah, obviously they can recreate it, but NFTs do have functions. They do have value that you can use. So like me personally, I have an ebook that's out. Normal price, people are paying about $20, $30 for it, right? So who wants to spend $30 on a book they don't know about, right? So once you're actually into the space, I can actually tell you, hey, look, if you just bought this NFT, the NFT is $1. It gives you access to my ebook, and now you don't have to spend $30. That's the incentive, so it has utility. Or I could say, hey, look, as this NFT, I know we're used to the QR codes. Go into like
I'm a little confused by that utility because yes, they can purchase the NFT, but they get your product that you're actually trying to sell at such a steep discount. How is that incentivizing you?
It's incentivizing me because I'm a part of the space, crypto space. I want to raise more awareness to the space. Not just I can make the monetary gain
So
off.
how do you profit from raising the awareness?
So this one coin that I create my NFTs is Songbird, right? I'm able to use that platform, create my NFT there. It's sitting at a very low value of the currency itself. It's not like I'm saying, hey, look, 1 Bitcoin to buy this. I don't know who's buying a NFT that much. I mean, people do it, but for my reasoning to sell it, what am I doing for it? I want people to be able to have access to the things that I do. So essentially by giving access to that, it lowers the cost. People don't want to get into that unless they have some type of incentive. You know what I mean? So that's why I created that idea with that. But as far as like the utility, like I can use an NFT to get into the club. Hey, look, I have this badge. This is my NFT. Go ahead and verify it. And they're like, okay, you're good. I don't have to pay anything. There's a couple other like companies that I know that use NFTs for that utility. They're not widespread, but it is possible to be able to have access to using an NFT for your own benefit.
Okay. So from my process, I've always seen an NFT as basically digital art. It's a picture that's online, similar to any image that you post and can Photoshop, edit. Now, of course, art is valuable, depending on who creates it, depending on how famous that person is, or the death of an individual. So there is definitely money to be made in an NFT. However, a lot of where I disagree with most crypto enthusiasts is in the speculation aspect of, for example, Bitcoin being the biggest coin. We understand that it runs, it generates, it's able to house millions of people in a second and utilize the bandwidth to push out the data that is needed to constantly be moving. And in fact, it's even more impressive that it's able to do that 24 hours a day, right? There's a lot of companies that can't withstand such pressure. There's a lot of companies that can't do that. However, what does Bitcoin truly do? Me and the Crypto King have had conversations about that. We had conversations about what it's really being used for, money laundering, things of that nature, a lot of illegal activity. And, when things like that happen, we had the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, who even said that the government may even have to step in and discontinue cryptocurrency within America. We've seen how cryptocurrencies have been banned throughout several countries, have been banned throughout different states, right? And then we've seen some get access. Like, look at the Lakers. They now have crypto arena, right? So we do see that crypto may be here to stay, especially if it lasts an additional decade. I think of it like the dot-com bubble. There's a lot of things out there that are simply not going to be utilized, that are not going to be useful. Do I know everything? Absolutely not. Google was here to stay, right? Google.com was here to stay. So Bitcoin may just very well be here to stay, although it's told you that it's supposed to disappear, which is very funny, right? So that brings another layer to that, right? If it was here to stay, how can it disappear? And so to me, there's just so many unknowns. But I'm super, super excited that yes, money can be made, but yes, you have to be careful, understand that there's a lot of money that can be lost, a lot of rug pulls that will happen, a lot of pyramid schemes, a lot of illegal activity that will continue to transpire. And you must be aware that you should never, ever invest money that you are not afraid to lose. All right?
That's a big part about, like, investing in general. I mean, like, any stock you could be in. Like, look at what happened to GameStop. I mean, I did not get to participate. I was too focused on Bitcoin at the time. Bitcoin got to peak at 69,000, so I was really happy about that. I was really big on that. But huge opportunities happen anywhere. I'll tell you, when it comes to Bitcoin, it's a great asset, but the concerns that you have are very much true. Like, there isn't enough regulatory clarity on that. Right now, the only cryptocurrency that has regulatory clarity is the XRP, Ripple, as people may know. And I think that's a huge portion of why, the crypto space doesn't have the attention that it requires or needs to be able to thrive fully. It's not just about making money. And that's one thing I think a lot of people get really messed up, is that cryptocurrency is a technology. That's why when people look into it, because there are stocks that, are backed by crypto, or vice versa. I couldn't tell you, I'm not the expert here. But when it comes to that, people back these cryptos, but they don't have, like, real value. They don't have any real, like, they don't solve problems. Like, specifically with XRP, because it has regulatory clarity, XRP fixes the issue when it comes to remittance. I know we got Cash App and we got all these different apps that bridge that gap, but also when you look at, like, sending money overseas, or even just sending money to someone who lives in a town over using, like, Western Union or anything like that, it costs quite a bit. I mean, some people look at it, oh, it's just $5 out of my $30. That's a lot. That's a huge portion of the money that you're sending to somebody else. With XRP, I could send somebody $1 billion and it'll cost me less than $1 to do it. Like, that's a lot. Like, that's a big problem that all banks have. They cannot send money instantly. If you're getting a refund at the store, you're waiting 3 to 10 business days, like, on average.
But it also has to go through due process. It also has to go through these layers of channels to ensure that your money is being transferred legally, safely. And that's another thing, right? With that money laundering aspect, there's no channel, there's no due process, there's no, hold on, why is all this money flowing in one direction? And that can lead to, again, that
So in
the stuff that we don't need. We don't need all of our U.S. dollars leaving our economy, which is only going to increase inflation. We don't need um, no checks and balances. Of course, we want to have control of how we use our money, how we spend our money. And at least I don't want the government to control every aspect of my life. But at the same time, I also understand why it's needed.
Yeah, and I could definitely attest to, like, you make very valid points. But that's one of the things that XRP, specifically the currency, and almost 90% of the currencies have this ability outside for a select few. Every transaction is verifiable. So essentially, if I wanted to send you $100, and I send it to you, and then somebody wants to verify that I sent you $100, like let's say I go to the store, it's like, yeah, I paid Festus, I gave him the $100. They're like, okay, well, let me see your your wallet address, and they'll be able to go ahead and punch that into a portal, what we call an oracle, and they'll be able to see exactly where that money is going. So once you have your wallet, they'll be like, okay, let me see your wallet. Is that wallet, did that check out? They'll match the two, and that's how they're able to say, okay, this money went there, and this money went here. That's how we're able to verify things. So back to what you said about NFTs, there's only just a select few of NFTs if some person decides to make them a limited supply or an unlimited supply. Just by having it and I verify that that NFT is in fact real, I can then go ahead and verify the fact that this person could go ahead and use whatever products or services that come with having that NFT, because it's a verifiable transaction. And that's across most of cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin as well. A lot of people just believe that because there isn't a name attached to it, that means that it's anonymous. No, it's not anonymous. We can see every single transaction that happens at a moment's notice. It's all the difference between who's faster and who does it easier, right? Simplicity is always one of the names of the game. So when it comes to like laundering money, people are getting caught. Like the government's getting on. They're starting to do their research to understand like what these cryptocurrencies do, the power of them, and how to actually track them. Like to get into a little bit of detail, there used to be like a huge thing called the Silk Road. I mean, people were buying pretty much wherever they wanted on there. I couldn't tell you. They were able to do that anonymously because no one understood what the process of Bitcoin was. They didn't understand how to move money or what that, like, it just wasn't enough research done. It was too new for people to get into that space and really just say, okay, well, this person did it. You know what I mean? Now people understand, okay, how this moves, how it operates. So now they can actually have these questions and they can actually track it. But that's really what it is. I mean, everything's verifiable on there, on the blockchain. Blockchain is here to stay. It's a technology that can be used not only in the financial world, but also in like just when it comes to blockchain for data, right? Data, it takes huge, we got huge servers. Google, they just built one out here, not too far from here, down on the south side. Like, it's huge, and that's just for data. They're holding data in a building, right? Blockchain, it's in the air. It's kind of in the cloud. They make it easier. You can pack all that information in a small chip. You don't even have to have a physical device. So that helps businesses be able to move faster, able to process information, verify that information. Like, they have a blockchain for the weather. They have a blockchain for, making a transaction. But just having the coin, it makes it move at that speed that they're prepared to do.
Okay. What I do look for is innovation. I look for improvements, not to stay stagnant or remain the same. So, for example, people get super excited about Tesla, that is basically making the same thing but in electric form. So the next will be motorcycles, and then, that excitement will continue. Tesla stock will continue to go up, and that's why I own a bunch of it. Does it excite me per se? Not necessarily, but I'm happy for the excitement that is behind it, the growth that's behind it, the innovation that's behind it, and to have an electrified society as a whole does excite me because there's a lot less moving parts, a lot less mechanical issues, a lot more simplified solutions. And I do think that allows more people to understand the products, the services that they're getting, do some things themselves. And I like to save money, so I would love to be able to do more things myself. So again, if you are interested in crypto, if you're interested in that type of sector, continue to do your research, continue to figure out where you can get in. There's absolutely money to be made, and if you make the right decisions, you will be a multi-millionaire. So thank you so much.
Appreciate it. We're gonna do this again.
Absolutely.
Just let me know. We're gonna get the schedule going. We had some fun. But yeah, just so you guys know, again, do your research. I'm not your research analyst. Like, I'm still growing and learning the game myself. I'm constantly doing things, on my own to figure out what's the next best thing. And there might not be a next best thing. I might be searching for the rest of my life. And I just follow the money. That's all I'm gonna say is follow the money. If you go and do your research, don't do your research on just what's being, like, let's say the title is Bitcoin, right? You're not gonna just look at Bitcoin. You're gonna look at who's investing in Bitcoin. You want to look at why they're investing. Why is it on TV? We've seen Bitcoin hit the television, So you want to ask why. You want to ask these deeper questions. Why are people investing? Why are they selling? Why aren't they buying? Those are the questions that are going to help you in any type of, financial idea that you make. When it comes to the track record, right? People at this point are used to seeing Bitcoin drop 80, 90% and then jumping back, over 100%, doubling within a few days. We're used to that, especially if you've been in the space for long enough, you'll be able to see those kind of things. But like I said, follow the money and you're going to see where it goes, right? But we'll catch you on the next episode.
And thank you for tuning in. Again, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily on YouTube and on Rumble. And I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.